All right, we sunny days in Detroit. Back from the off season.
Long off
Today's
season.
date, September 5th, 2024. Season opens tonight, 8:20. Chiefs and Ravens. But our game is Sunday night. It's going to be on NBC. Also going to be on 8:20. Is tonight Amazon Prime?
No, no. Today is I think the first few weeks. Today's
Yeah,
NBC, right? Yeah, it's the same Sunday night crew. It's Mike Tirico and
NBC.
those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Paul, how are we feeling right now going into the season? How are we feeling about this group of guys? Let us know.
I mean, I'm feeling great. I as long as I could go back, and I mean, everyone's pretty much saying the same thing. This is probably the most talented Lions team I've gone into a season with the most expectations. You know, they're loaded from the top of from the top of the roster with a lot of young stars on the team to the back with just really good veterans. And I mean, I love the practice squad. I think the way they built the practice squad with some veteran players that have experience from
Robinson.
they got Robinson, they got Tim Patrick, they have the D tackle that they signed from Tennessee. I'm forgetting his name and brought him in, but back on the practice squad. So they got players there. They're loaded. They're loaded. I mean, they're as good as any team in the NFL in my eyes. From a roster from the top to the practice squad.
Yeah.
So and they're healthy. That changes quickly in the NFL. It changes week by week, but they're a healthy team starting the season. So their expectations are high, and they should be after last year. So and they're well deserved too. So
you just said an important key word there, healthy. That's why it is so important in September, when typically most of the guys are healthy, most of them are ready to go. They're not too dinged up yet. They're not in that like calcified football shape yet, right? Because there's not a whole lot of there's some hitting in camp, but there's not as much as definitely there used to be years ago. But what you want to see coming out of September is that you're 4-0, 3-1. That's really what you want to see, because these games, these can really, I mean, a game in September is the week 18 game in, January 5th or 1st, 2nd, whatever it is. But it is really important to get 3 wins at a minimum, because like I said, your guys are healthy, they're okay. You're going to hit that stretch in late October, November, like they did last year, where Goff was a little off. Guys were fumbling. Guys were dropping passes. Guys were starting to get hurt, and you were wondering, okay, who's going to be healthy for the playoffs, and are they going to be ready for the playoffs? So these first 4 are really important, that they hit the ground running, get off to a hot start.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing last year is they got off to a hot start. I think we were there in Tampa. Was it 5-1 or 6-1? And then they got smoked by Baltimore. But giving yourself that cushion to a good start, if that's a lead in the division, if it's a lead up on teams in the wild card, if it's building confidence early on, not questioning things that you've done in the offseason to prepare, allows you to go through a little tough stretch. Dan Campbell said it last year. We saw it in that mini video when the season ended, that he said to them that we're at some point of this season going to go through a stretch that's tough. And they did. They went, started with the Chicago game that they came back and won and lost on Thanksgiving in Green Bay. Then they went to
It almost started with New Orleans. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
Well, then they won in New Orleans, and they came back and lost this, or I don't know. They played, but bottom line is, like, you got to get off to a fast start here, and you got to get off to a fast start when your first 3 out. I don't care who you're playing. Your first 3 out or 4 out home games. Ford Field showed how special it could be all last year, and when the playoffs came, like, the fans stepped it up. And I don't think there's gonna be any letdown from last year's playoff games to the atmosphere we're getting to get there this Sunday night. I think the fans might even bring in more. They're already being challenged by players on the Lions talking about, let's set the record for the highest, loudest crowd. I'm sure the Lions, the organization, is going to pull some new little, tricks to get the fans to get louder. So it'll be exciting. So it's all good things.
What game is Calvin Johnson's?
Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read somewhere today too that we were talking jerseys. I read somewhere that most likely it's going to be the Blueberries this against the Rams.
Sunday against the Rams.
Yeah, and it should be the Blueberries.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah,
to open up the season, prime time, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So on another lighter note, before we get into Sunday night's game, playing the Rams, playing Matt Stafford. Before we get into that, we've had a couple of injury scares going throughout the preseason. The big one that stood out to most of us, James, but he seems to be all right. Looks like he's playing Sunday. That's big. I mean, if they, especially with the situation we had talked about off air all week with wide receiver 3 and what they're going to do, and it is really nice knowing you're going to have Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs back there to kind of assist until whoever's and asserts themselves as true wide receiver 3 on this team and solidifies their spot there.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Campbell, to me, from what I take from the injury report, who's limited, there's only 2 players who are limited, and that's Iffy. He's dealing with something that's healing slowly. Yeah. But at least he's limited now, so he's doing something at practice this week. And then DJ Reader, Dan Campbell said he's limited, but Dan Campbell said that a couple weeks back the goal is to get him week 2. They got him going a little bit last week. This week, he's kind of running the scout team, and he's giving a hell of a workout to Ragnow and to the guards because he's the lead guy in there. They said they're going to get this week was his week to get his pad work in and have him ready next week. But he said he's not closing the door on him having some sort of role this week. And I have a feeling DJ Reader's playing. I think DJ Reader wants to play. I think he wants to run out of that tunnel. That might mean 5 to 10 snaps.
Right.
But I think he's going to play. I told someone else this. If we would have had, like, say, some kind of major injury on the D line, like someone, let's say Aleem McNeil was hurt and someone else, and you had to dress a couple extra D tackles for the game. No. But if you had to dress a couple extra linemen, but everyone's healthy. So I think you can get away with having a DJ Reader on the bench and only giving you 5 to 10 snaps.
Yeah.
In this game. I think you have enough guys you could dress to cover yourself for like the lack of work that, he's going to get. Plus listen, they like to bring in guys slow. So I could see him having 10, 12 snaps this week, amping that up to, I got to turn that light off.
One thing to remember going into the season, because I feel like a lot of people overthink things that.
Hold on one second. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. Paulie's got to shut his light.
All right. Sorry about that.
A lot of people look like they try to read into a lot of what Dan Campbell says, and like, I guess at times he could be relatively cryptic, but I feel like he's a very straightforward guy.
Cover your
mouth. Yeah, cover your mouth. Yeah.
You see the new commercial today?
I didn't see the new one that dropped today. I saw the original one.
It's great. The new one's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta watch it. But like I try to take whatever Dan says at the podium. I try to take it at face value. Like I feel like he's been he's been very honest with us since he's taken over, with everything he's done, injuries included. If someone doesn't have a chance, he's going to say that. If he thinks, if he's leaving the door open, yeah, I think the door is genuinely open. Like you're saying with DJ Reader, I think that door is genuinely open with him. And you're right. It's probably going to be in a limited capacity, 5 to 10, 11, 12 snaps, something like that. But like, it makes sense too with this training staff because they do. I wouldn't say slow things down, but they don't rush guys back onto the field.
Yeah.
Especially in September. It just really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I love about Dan Campbell, because he's as real as a coach that there is. He doesn't beat around the bush when he talks about injuries. He tells you what they're dealing with. Hey, we don't know when we're getting him back. He's hurt. He'll tell you. He's probably up. Hey, I don't think it's as bad. I can't tell you exactly, but we escaped something there, and it's not going to be long term. So he tells you kind of what it is. Like some of these other coaches, like
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or I hated Jim Caldwell. Check the injury report.
Yeah.
You put it out. You're literally the guy that puts it out. Why are you telling me to check it? It's not out.
There was a college coach this past week, and I forgot what team it was, but I was like listening to him like 30, 40 minutes before pregame, and they're like, "So do you know who's gonna be the starting quarterback?" And he's like, "Well, we do, but we're not gonna mention it yet. We're gonna try to take this advantage that we have." And in my head, I'm like, "Because you don't know who the fuck the quarterback is probably gonna be yet. Like you're still questioning your decision to make it. Just make a decision who it is. Like stop playing these games, you know." Yeah. And that's just getting off topic, but like I appreciate him being real with us. He doesn't have to be always, but he tells you as for me as much as he can, you know, without like maybe being wrong on something, you know. So that I appreciate him. So going back to that, I do think for some reason I think DJ Reader's gonna play, you know. I think it's an indoors game. It's climate controlled, so you're not like going to be somewhere 85 degrees and he's getting dehydrated and cramping up and sun beating, because it's like an indoor, no rain, nothing, wind. Like this is, you could dress him, you know?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But yeah.
Opening night, we're playing the Rams. We're playing the Stafford's back. I saw the Detroit line posted it, so I don't know if there was a truth to it. Maybe you've heard different.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a tribute to Stafford pregame.
I don't know if there's any truth to that. I almost texted that to you when I saw that. And it's two people. They posted on some lines report, but like no real one with credentials.
Yeah.
Like posted that.
That's
like,
why I didn't run with it.
It said it said we're finally gonna give that Stafford his flowers that he's due, and they're gonna do a pre-ceremonial like before the audience, like do something for him. You know what? If they do it, go ahead, do it. I have nothing against it. But at this point, I really don't. You know, when he said the other day on, and I know it's not that big a deal, and people feel differently about it. But when he said the other day, he's being interviewed on the podcast show, and they asked him like, once you got eliminated from the playoffs, were you rooting for the Lions? And he's like, no. And I get the whole. He said, I don't root for nobody because I want to be a win, so I don't want no one to win. But like, I get that. Like, I've lost that stuff before, not a pro sports, but it's I'm like, oh, I wish everyone could lose, you know, because I don't get a chance to win.
Yeah.
But this is the same fan base that rooted hard for you that year to win a Super Bowl. Like, they rooted for you. People rooted for you. People, when Lion fans bought jerseys, sent stuff because they wanted to see you win. So you could have been like, hey, if there's anyone going to win it, I don't want no one else to win it, but if there's one team I'd like to see win it, I'd like to see the fans of Detroit get what they deserve. You know, like you know, so I don't know. I mean, I'm over Stafford, you know.
I'm at the point, I love him. I always will, but like, this was baseball. I would say, yeah, do a tribute video, you know, in batting practice or not batting practice, but do some kind of tribute video in the seventh inning stretch or whatever, right? Because there's 162 games and not every game is super significant and, you know, fine. But like, this is football. There's only 17 games in a season. Every game is crucial. Like, I get that he had his years here. And by God, when that guy retires, get him back for the homecoming game and you could say something about him. No problem. Like, have that tribute video. Absolutely. But like right now, he's on the other side of the field. And
I don't think they're ever going to bring him back here because they're never going to retire his number. And they don't bring no team and tribute any player because Calvin Johnson's number will get retired as a Lion. Barry's will. No one else gets in the Ring of Honor. Like, so I don't think they ever will. He didn't win a division title here.
I wouldn't be surprised. There are guys that come to homecoming that don't have their numbers retired.
They might have a homecoming or you want to do something.
That's basically what I'm saying is you don't have to retire the guy's number, put honor. But the point is there will be a home game 10, 15, 20 years from now on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, or maybe it's a 1:00 game. And I'm sure he'll be on the field and you could do it then, right? But you don't do it now when he's on the other side and he's trying to kick our ass.
I'm wrong for this, but like honestly, I would have one prepared and it would have to be like, oh, the fourth quarter starting and they're down 24. And then it goes to a timeout and we just play it.
I wouldn't know how to feel though. Like I'd be like,
but I would play it that way because it'd be almost like kind of like
a troll to him,
trolling him. Yeah, show him like throwing a pick six in a Green Bay week 17 game, throwing, you know, no.
It would be weird. I hope they don't do it. I hope it's all rumors, and I really
I don't
hope
think
it
they
doesn't
should
happen.
take out like the intensity the fans are going to be before the game and pull this
Yeah,
trigger where because
yeah.
then it's hard to get it back.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're playing an
Like
emotional
it's like
game.
okay
Yeah,
now like fuck now we got to go back and like root hard against
yeah,
them like right now like no like this isn't the time to do it yet. It's not
yeah.
time. It's too fresh. We're two teams that could be fighting for a wild card team against one another. Two teams that could win their divisions, and you're fighting for seeding. Like this is not the time
If
that I
this was a preseason game, you could do this.
sure.
But I
It's
just
not.
it's not the time of the place. I agree 100%, Paul. I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't happen. I hope it's bullshit rumors. You want to get into the season prediction?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Season prediction. Let me pull up. I have my predictions here, but I didn't write out the games. I just wrote out what they would do week to week. Okay. Week 1 in Detroit against the Rams. 8:20 p.m. Who's winning, Paul?
Lions.
All right. I got Lions too. Week 2, Buccaneers.
Lions.
1 p.m. game. Lions. I also have the Lions. Week
I don't
3.
think Tampa's gonna be that great this year.
Week 3, Cardinals. At the Cardinals in Phoenix. It's a 4:25 start. They're going across the country. Do they go 3-0 here?
I'm gonna give them a win, but I actually think this is a big trap game.
It is.
Like
They've never played well in Phoenix.
They don't play good. Yeah, they don't play good there. Like I don't know. Like I think this game, Arizona has some players. Kyle Murray didn't play that bad when he came back, but I've said this all along. I'm gonna go with the win here, but like,
Yeah.
I think that especially if they win these first two the way I have it, I think this could be a big trap game here.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'll still give the W.
Because they did that last year. Week 1. Oh no, was the Seahawks
They won week
week
1
2?
and lost. Yeah, lost to Seattle. Yeah.
Week 2 was Seattle last year. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I have them with a win. So I have them at 3-0. You have them at 2-1.
Yeah.
Then
no, I've been going win. I said I'm going
win, but you
go.
think they're going to lose. Okay.
I said
so,
but I can see it, but I'm going to still give them a win.
So we both have 3-3.
Yeah.
Then they come back home. They play the Seahawks. I'll start this. I think they lose this game.
I think they're going to win it because it's like flipping a coin, right? They always lose to Seattle. Eventually, one of these times, it has to land on heads. So, like, no matter when's the last time we beat Seattle? I don't even remember. I think we beat
2012 in Seattle.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we lost. We lost 2015. I don't remember the last time we beaten them.
I remember we beat them in the Dome in like 2000, 2001. I think they were still in the AFC. Like we played them in a game with John Kitna was our quarterback. Like that's the last time I remember winning in Seattle. I don't remember winning. You said we beat them in 2012.
2012. Yeah.
We played them one time and blew a huge lead.
Seattle
was like Super Bowl champs that back then.
2013 they won the Super Bowl.
We did not beat them in 2012.
2012, I believe we did. We played them, and I want to say we won. I don't know.
Let's look this up.
Can we get through this first?
Yeah.
Let's get through this. Mental note, we'll look back at this. They're off week 5, bye week.
Yeah.
Then they go to Dallas. That's week 6. I have them winning that game. So by the way, I'm going into after week 6, I've got them at 4-1. Do you have them beating Dallas?
Wait a second. Okay, I didn't give my prediction on Minnesota. It's bye week then Minnesota.
Nope, bye week then Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. You're right. It is Dallas. What am I talking about?
Silly goose.
All right.
I have them beating Dallas. What do you have?
I have them beating Dallas too.
Okay. Week 7 in Minnesota, which I believe you're going to that game. It's a 1 o'clock game.
So there's no way they're going to lose at a game that I'm there. They're going to beat Minnesota.
Okay. All right. So that would make us 6-1. Oh no, you would be 7-0.
I have no. You have 5-1, and I'm 6-0.
4, 5, 6. Okay. Week 8 against the Titans, 1 o'clock.
Win.
That's in Detroit. Win. I also have a win. November 3rd, week 9 at the Packers.
Loss.
Okay.
I think we're due to lose that too. We've won 2 in a row, so.
I have a win. But I think in the end we'll go 1-1 against the Packers. So whether we win there and lose in the Dome or vice versa. The following week, November 10th against the Texans, that's an NBC game. That's Sunday Night Football. I gave them a loss here, week 10. I think that game goes either way. Spoiler alert, I have them at 13 wins, so I was like, I didn't want to, if I really, like, I looked at about 15 of these, I said we can win. 16 of these games, and I said,
so what do you have Houston win?
I have a loss. Okay. I don't think that they're gonna, but like, I believe they're gonna go 13-4. So I had to find 4 losses in here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go loss too.
You have loss, okay. And that game is in Houston.
Yeah.
The following week against the Jaguars,
I think they
have a win.
I think they beat Indy the following week.
In Indy, yep. I have the same thing. Win in Indy, and then Thanksgiving against the Bears. Paul,
they're winning.
They're winning that game. What week is that? That's week 13.
Something like that.
Week 13, yes, sir. Okay. I also have a win there. Week 14, I have them losing at home against the Packers. You have them winning, probably?
I have them, yeah.
Okay. Against the Bills, following week 16.
I have a win.
I have a win. Yes, I have a win there. And then week 7 against the Bears.
I have a loss.
You have a loss? Yeah, I had them winning at home against the Bears. Oh, no. Yeah, I had them sweeping the Bears, but I don't think the Bears. They're going to lose one of those games. I agree with you. At the 49ers, week 18.
I have a win.
And then that was week 17. Week 18. I also have win.
I have a win.
Yeah, I have a win, and I have a win against the Vikings. Okay. So what do you have?
I have 14-3.
14-3. I have 13-4.
But I do think they're going to lose that Arizona game. So I was thinking 13. Yeah. And listen, there's games that they can be flip-flopped here, right? Like when I'm looking at a schedule, I'm kind of looking at it like you. Like, yes, they could beat Green Bay in Green Bay, maybe lose to them at a home one. But I think they're going to split that series with them. I don't know. Like, I hate Chicago. They might beat Chicago twice, but lose that game in Minnesota. But I think this team is putting a goal out there, and they're not. Listen, goal number 1, win the division. But I really think this team wants that home field in there, and I think you got to get 13 wins. You have to get the 13 wins. 12 maybe if you had all the tiebreakers and you're lucky, but you got to get the 13 wins if you want the bye. And I think that's a quiet goal that they want. Right. And I think they're gonna get it.
I agree.
I
agree.
So now this is it. They gotta stay healthy. But the team has improved. The team's proved all over from the team we saw last year. So
Pavo, we are kind of up against it here, 7:08. I know you got to jump off. I got to jump off and do the football show. Hopefully, we could see you all Sunday morning, potentially. Going to go through the schedule with Paul and Patrick, see what we could do for a little more of an in-depth prediction here and look into the Rams game. So follow the social media. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. We're going to be posting a little more now as the season's back. And that's where you will know when we're going live and what we're doing. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you on Sunday. Let's go, Lions.
Care.